West.
What's up, guys? Took me a minute there to figure out how. Oh, Donnie, did I not send you the link? Gosh, I didn't. Hang on. My bad, dude. I've never done it during a live stream, so I hope it's that simple. Yeah. 13 minutes ago, you texted me the link. There you go, bud. My bad. I've been a little under weather today, guys. I'm not in tip-top shape at the moment. I don't know what's up. The camera looks a little blurry too. I'm having some stomach pain. I don't know what's up with it, man. I keep thinking I'm gonna get sick in my stomach and go to the bathroom and it'll be over, but no such thing. Just a weird pain in my guts. I don't know what it is. How's the guts now? That's better, Mimo. I'm not there's like for about 4 hours there I felt like any second I could throw up. I never did. Never had any kind of anything happen. Here we are. Sorry about that.
What's up, y'all?
I forgot all about sending you the link, man.
That's all good, man.
I even called you and told you I was going live.
Yeah, I tried one of the old links, but that shit didn't work. So
No, that don't
I did
work.
what I could.
Oh, hey.
What's good, everybody?
Who all we got in here, Donnie?
Everybody, man. Paul Mills, Kyle, Jeffrey Dawson, Neil McKenzie, Douglas Wagner, Mimo, Marco.
Dude, Mimo sent me a email. You'd think after 4 or 5 years I've known Mimo now, I would know he doesn't have Instagram, but
One Moon, Mina Milton.
I still forget. But he sent me a photo of a modded Spyderco amalgam.
Okay.
Apparently, and I've heard that before, that the flipper tab wasn't great on it. So he purchased one, said he didn't even have it shipped to him. He had it shipped straight to ProX and had a flipper delete done, and had ProX do some micarta scales for him. That thing is beautiful, man.
Nice.
I love that knife. I like that blade shape. It's just something different from Spyderco, everything they've got is either that leaf-shaped blade or some variant of the PM.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that one's just different, man.
I don't really like Cleveland ones, but that little stovepipe one was cool.
Yeah, I just feel like that stovepipe design.
I really liked the handle on it.
Yeah, it just seems like it's begging to be bigger.
Oh, most definitely,
yeah. Well, I know people like small knives, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I just feel like that design would have spoke to me more. I mean, dude, I'm talking about like at least 1.5 inches bigger, if not 2.
Yeah.
That just looks like a big brooding. And then when people get it and realize, that closed, it's about that big.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing.
Who just said something about a single action out the front? I was gonna say Michael Upchurch. I don't know about the advantages other than it just is cool.
Like I think they fire a lot harder too.
What's that old Microtech, like the original one that you had to like rack?
I don't remember that. I've only.
Does anybody in the chat know what I'm talking about? You had to like pull the end of the handle down and rack it.
Yeah.
And then that's what charged it.
Yeah.
I think those will
actually penetrate. Like if you held it up to somebody and hit it. Whereas your double action will just. I don't want anybody doing it to me. I'm sure it'd leave a pinhole and I'd bleed. It wouldn't feel good, but.
Yeah, but it'll fail the blade. Yeah.
Right. It'll fail it, but I don't know to what degree the single actions will actually penetrate, but I know just watching people test it on cardboard, it'll shoot right through the cardboard where a double action won't.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's limitations to that, but
Was it the Halo Paul Mills? Is that what I'm talking about? They're not fucking cheap to get now.
what is cheap to get now, Donnie?
Well, fuck nothing.
I've been preaching that for years. That once the Chinese took over the knife market, the prices are just going to climb higher and higher. And it seems like nobody remembers that the Civivi Riffle, which is one of the best knives Civivi ever made, was what, $37?
Yeah.
Now your average Civivi's double that. Dude, and it's in everything. You weren't on here when I had that meltdown about the boots. Like you can't hardly buy leather cowboy boots that are made in America anymore.
Right.
The Chinese took over, but the problem is the boot store I was in had one brand that was made in the United States, and they were the exact same price as the Chinese ones. So it's a matter, they will save you money temporarily.
Sure.
But once they take over, dude, they raise their prices, because of supply and demand, they raise their prices just as high as everything else. And that's what they're doing with knives, Yeah. I don't know if it's Red Wings or not, Aiden. You may be correct. I know what I was looking for was like an actual cowboy boot for my granddaughter, and nobody makes an American-made. Well, the sales clerk told me that nobody makes an American-made cowboy boot in children's sizes. She said,
I bet like a fucking small maker would.
Yeah. So she ended up, we didn't have any choice. I bought her some Ariats made in China, It was what it was. But I got some boots recently, man, and I don't regret buying them. I just don't know how much I'll ever need them.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy here in town that runs the Tack Shack. It's a little online Facebook tactical survival gear type stuff. And he sells a lot of cheap Chinese shit, but it is what it is. But I bought a pair of boots from him that he ordered for himself, and they fit a little too snug. Let me show them to you, man. I just don't know if I'll ever need these in Alabama. The day that I do need them, it'll be great.
I've been looking at boots, and I've been wanting to go to a couple different companies, but I'll probably just end up getting these Red Wings that I like.
Yeah, I've got some Red Wings
because they're easier to deal with. There's a couple other smaller makers that I want to check out, but just pain in the ass if I need any service or whatever.
I've got some Red Wing like leather low top work boots, but I wanted some like hunting boots.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got them, I mean, they look great. They're Rockies, and they're made in China too. But dude, look at all this insulation, dude.
It looks like a snowboard boot.
Yeah, man. It feels like a snowboard. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, man.
Enormous, man.
That's a big ass boot, dude.
I don't know if I'll ever need. I mean, don't get me wrong, my feet don't necessarily get hot. I could wear them in cool weather, but yeah, I feel like those were made for stomping through 2 foot of snow. And
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Maybe not. I wasn't gonna talk about that, but I'll touch on it since you brought it up. I don't know. I watched a thing here a while back trying to understand the tariffs, and it was actually about Temu and how they get around them.
Jeffrey Dawson saying or Thursday or a couple other companies. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. But the way Temu gets around it is because they're selling direct to the customer. So their tariffs, they never experience tariffs. If they were selling $100,000 worth of inventory to a storefront in the United States, they would. But because it's direct to customer and it's below a certain price amount, which is in the thousands, the tariffs didn't apply. Now, I don't know if they're going to do tariffs. I don't know if what the rules will be. But I will just say this, and I'll leave it at that. If Chinese knives triple in price, even if I still wanted to buy them, and the tariffs do anything to bring some manufacturing back to the United States, then I don't care. I don't care that. I don't want to just say that as a guy that don't buy Chinese knives. Even if I did, even if it's something that I do, like those Chinese boots I just showed, if they tripled in price, and the side effect of that is bringing back some manufacturing to the United States, then I don't care. I'm fine with it.
Fair.
Yeah. But if it's the way it used to be, I'm sure they'll just start selling direct, customer direct straight from Civivi, whoever. And it may hurt some of these online knife stores, but if they do that and they set the tariffs up the way they used to be, you won't notice any difference. Because I don't remember what the dollar amount was, but it was pretty significant how much it had to be before the tariffs applied. So we'll see.
Jeffrey Dawson, thanks. I'll check that out too, man.
Because even if I don't buy knives, I've never denied that. A lot of the things I buy come from there because I don't have any choice. Or sometimes it's because I can't afford the option. So
right.
We'll see how that goes.
Todd Carr, what up?
I have always been curious. I have always been curious, though, Donnie. Like, you got guys, and I don't want to use people like Hinder or Chris Reeve or Koenig, because those are really big outfits. But if you take guys like Michael Martin at American Blade Works or Alex Steingraber, I mean, those guys seem to be doing pretty good, and they're running a shop by themselves. They just bought some equipment. And I've just always wondered why, like, Sharp by Designs don't just buy some equipment. Is it that they're not capable of making? They don't have the talent or know-how to? I don't know. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I know, like, homeboy at SPK, like, that dude's got probably $1 million worth of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. You may be. I don't know what that stuff costs. I know when Brian was talking about buying a CNC, he was talking about like $30,000, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think Brian.
I know you need more than just a CNC.
Well, no, but I'm saying like the size difference. I think homies at SPK, I think he's got a fairly fucking large setup.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, and I know it seems people say, well, Alex was apparently in a position to buy or finance that equipment or whatever, and maybe this guy's not. But man, that's the way business has always been.
Well, yeah, I mean that's anything.
You can afford to go big, or you can't.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've ever touched a CNC, Donnie, but I'm sure if you acquired one, you would figure it, whether you had to take classes, go work with somebody, you'd figure it out until you got to a point where you could do the same thing Alex is doing.
I had a dude try to sell me one last summer for like fucking $5,000.
Right.
No, I'm not against that later in life. If I have the cash or ability to buy something like that, right. I'm down to make my own CNC knives, but I'm still going to make handmade.
I appreciate your knives at this point because they're not CNC made. And sure. I'm just saying companies that are already have a pretty big name, like why isn't Vero Engineering making his own knives? So you can't tell me that if that dude bought the CNC, even if he had to hire a good machinist, he could probably sell his knives for $700-800 a piece instead of $300 being made. People would still buy them, dude.
Yeah,
they would pay the extra to get that. So, and like I said, I understand not everybody is capable of doing that, but if you're not capable of doing it, then that means you don't.
A lot of people might not also be passionate about making, like.
Right.
Maybe he's just happy making money. Yeah. I don't know. And just designing shit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Right. Like, I would love to open a company and make and re-release the 69 Z28 Camaro. But I'm not capable. I'm not capable. So is it unfair that I don't get to do it?
No.
No. It's just life, man.
That's true. It is not fair.
Yeah. Kyle said his buddy bought a Haas and it was like $70,000. Okay, yeah, and I'm sure there's, different, different levels of, how many knives you can be able to make a day and how many axes that thing operates on.
Does it have a tool changer? Like all this shit. Right. Like, yeah, you can get a pretty small CNC, like the size of like 2 normal fridges.
Right.
And it'll do work, but it's not doing a lot of work. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah. I'm sure it's a lot like if I had a 2x72 with a 2-horse motor, I would be able to grind out a lot more knives than I am with a 2x36 and a rated 1 horse, but I don't believe it. It might have been 1 horse when I started with it.
Yeah,
But already this soon, I can feel a power difference.
for sure.
So, yeah. But I don't think anything bad is going to come of that if tariffs happen. You know, how awesome would it be if they do pull off what they're talking about and tariffs replacing income tax, and nobody has to pay that shit anymore? You just get to keep your whole. Can you imagine just keeping your whole? Well, let me back up. There's not going to be a scenario where you keep your whole check because
Yeah, that ain't happening.
if you want to be able to draw Social Security one day, you still got to pay into it. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy times we're living in. It's a lot to be seen, you know, and how it affects the knife industry. I don't know.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
You know, as
I
much
can't really comment on the tariff shit because I'm just not educated enough. I mean, I know about it, but
yeah. Well, I'm not claiming I ain't.
You have an opinion about it? No, I don't. I don't. So I'm not educated enough on it.
Yeah, I'm not claiming I just watched a YouTube thing on the success of Temu, and it explained how they got around tariffs because it was direct to consumer sales straight from China. And they said the dollar amount. It was thousands. I don't remember. You know, just use a round number. Like if you import and some guy buys $100,000 worth of product from you, then yeah, there's a tariff on top of that. But these $20, $30, $40 purchases straight off Temu weren't touched by it at all. So
Right.
we'll see. There's P&W Funworks. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, P&W, man. Hope you're feeling all right, man. I mean, despite all that shit.
I want to get with P&W about his scales. You know, I did that giveaway for P&W and Bluminati Ninja, West Virginia Ninja. Bluminati Ninja won it and then gifted the knife to P&W.
Oh, sick. Bluminati's always fucking being super generous as a
dude,
motherfucker, dude.
yeah.
What the fuck?
He's a good dude. And I want to get with Josh about it because he may have different feelings, but I really want to do like some Kowa scales, do something that kind of screams P&W Funworks. You know what I mean? I had actually reached out to him about making me some scales, and I don't think he was quite prepared to do that just yet. But, you know, I would definitely be interested one day if I could get him some dimensions. And, you know, man, I'm all about sharing the wealth too, man. I've made the offer to lots of YouTubers and other guys like, hey, if you got a design, send it to me. I'll make it. If you can sell it, then I'll make it and cut you in, you know, and I'd be completely fair. So this whole excuse that I can't get knives made, no, you can't get me to make 1,000 knives because I'm not capable, but you could get a dozen, 20, 30, 50. You know what I mean? You could get your design out there.
As long as it takes some planning, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Man. I'm talking about doing a fucking run for Frankie coming up at some point.
There you go. Yeah.
Because he's got like fucking 5 or 10 people that are like 100% in to buy that inflictor he designed that I made him.
Right.
So it's lucrative at that point to do a run of them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you know, and if I ever, and I don't know that I will, but if that were to take off, you know, it got to a point where, you know, I'm buying a sheet of steel and having it all water jetted so they're all exactly the same, you know, that'd be great too. You know, I'm not, right this minute, I'm not interested in that. I don't mind each and every one of my knives being, simply because that's the most fulfilling part to me. Is when I walk up to that grinder and I get done and I look at what I've shaped. I still enjoy that part.
Yeah, because you did that shit.
Right. I don't want
with your hands.
Right. I don't want to give that away or much less pay somebody else to do it just yet.
I feel you.
Yeah.
For sure, man. I totally understand that. Like, I want to get a mill, but at the same time, I'm like, man, then I'll have to say I use a mill like everybody else.
Your salt said Temu is Olight's OEM, dude. You could throw all that knowledge out the window because all these Chinese companies that makes something that other Chinese companies, they're all marketing companies. They're just marketing companies and they're using YouTubers because it's free advertisement. You know,
Madame Miguel.
they're not making nothing. They got plants that are making it, but all those knife companies over there are just marketing companies. All the knives being made by the same people. And nothing wrong with that because, you know, MKM is a conglomerate of several different shops. You may have a shop that does nothing but punches out liners all day. And then you may have a shop that's doing nothing but laser cutting scales all day. And all those guys are in business with each other to benefit one another. That's not a negative thing, but it's always been weird to me how these knife YouTubers that have knives made want to deny that and call me a liar. But I know for a fact that's what it is.
Yeah.
Surprise me, Brother Shane. I'm a silly bastard. I got you.
Paul Mills, yeah, he gets wire EDM because it's way more precise.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. Yeah. It's like $40 or $50 a blade, but
Yeah.
as opposed to like water jet, if you do a batch, you're paying like $8 a fucking blade.
Yeah, I can get fixed blades.
He pays for the fucking precision, so he doesn't have to do it.
Right.
Well, and because he does exact, not so he doesn't have to do it. That's the wrong way.
But it has to be exact to match.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah, he doesn't have to do it because it needs to be that way. Yes.
Right.
It wasn't a down. I wasn't like,
Yeah. I understand. When he and I talked about that, you know, I asked him about wire EDM. He's like, you don't need wire EDM.
Right.
You're talking about a flat blade. He's like, I have to have wire EDM because, you know, that stop pin track, you know, it has to match something somebody else made. You know, like I said, I'm making something that matches to somebody else's work. So that makes perfect sense. You know, I didn't realize too though that like
Steve, what up, dude? Scotch.
You know, even if I have my knives water jetted and I tell them I want 1/4 inch holes water jetted into the handle for the scales, that hole's not perfect. It's 1/4 inch on one side. There's probably 5/16 on the other.
Oh yeah, you should always like undersize them with water jet and then ream them.
So that was a problem with having it done with Brad. If he heat treated it, well then when I got it, that hole's hardened, so it was going to be a pain in the ass for me to. Yeah, because people don't understand when you water jet, that jet comes out just like your pressure washer. It's a jet. It gets wider. So the entry hole might be 1/4 inch, but the exit hole might be 5/16.
You know. What's up, Scotch?
Shane dressed in undercover makeup, sneaking in.
Thank you, buddy.
Undercover Bob. I got a guy for that, Patina. I got a contact, and it's weird because, like, if I have a question, it may literally take me months to get it answered because I have to ask my local guy. He has to wait to ask his family member there when it's safe to ask him. Because you got to remember, those people's communications are all.
No, yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's all being watched. So it sometimes it can take me 2-3 months to get an answer to a question. Just like when I said these Chinese companies advertise an S90V, it's not the same S90V. It's not from CPM.
Right.
I wasn't willing to die on that hill yet because I didn't have an answer yet. The answer I got is it is possible that some of these boutique companies are purchasing this steel and having it shipped over there. But on the grand scale of things, your Kubi with S90V is not CPM S90V like what you got on a Spider or a Donnie Bless knife for that matter.
Right.
They simply took the recipe and they're trying to make it themselves. And the issue with that is they've never been great at it. I mean, look at what they did to D2. D2 is an excellent knife still, man. And China ruined its reputation.
Ruined its reputation.
And they will ruin, because if you look, the people
you know more about all that than I do as far as like production knowledge.
If you look at when it's been tested, I don't care how much you brag that you got a $350 knife and S90V that would have cost you $700 here. When it's tested, dude, it performs like S35. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. I believe you.
I mean, it just makes sense, Donnie. If you were the biggest steel manufacturer in Nebraska, would you go to the next town over and buy steel?
No.
No, because you make it your damn self.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest steel producers in the world, so they're not buying steel from anybody.
No, totally. I mean, yeah.
China does the same with aluminum grades as well. Yeah, I've never looked into that, Patina, but I'm sure. There's a problem with a lot of that grading. It's just like in our food. You know, I didn't know this till recently. But you can put free range on anything.
That's right.
It
I got
means
free range cats. I got them.
Yeah, it means nothing. You know, it's like grass fed. All cattle is grass fed.
Yeah, that's what they
All
fucking
cattle is technically grass finished because they're still eating grass up to the day that they're slaughtered, but they just happen to add some corn.
Yeah.
All these grades, you know, that we pay more for and have put our faith in, most of the time mean nothing. They're not honored in many sanctioned racing circuits as well as aerospace specs. You know, but I'll tell you something right there, man. They make good Bushy pork. You're damn right, Stevie. They make some General Tso's chicken that will blow your mind, son. Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even see you. Said Steve. What up, dude?
I really hope, Stevie, that the American workforce can somehow obtain the work ethic of those people, though, man. Now, there's politics into why they have that work ethic, whether it's at threat or not. I don't know, but man, they work.
Stevie's caged.
He's caged. What does that mean?
Marco said he was free range.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm caged too. I'm not out there wandering the pastures gathering my food.
It's true.
Michael Keaton in Gung Ho, good flick. Kyle, I haven't heard. Is that a new movie? I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't know anything about that either, and that's weird. I like Michael Keaton.
Might have to check that out. Organic meat and dairy. Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. It's so easy to make those claims. You know, I'm sure purely organic is better, but if the guy at the meat factory wants to label it as free range, and the guy that's regulating that is making millions of dollars on the payroll of that meat factory, I'm sure you can just put organic on anything.
Oh fuck! Maybe I have seen that movie.
Oh, when he went overseas making cars.
Yeah. Yep, I have seen that movie.
Donnie, were you a fan of Top Gear?
The show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Top Gear. Do you remember the episode when they went to China?
I mean, maybe.
They had like the fake Chinese made Mercedes Maybachs and all that, or Rolls Royce Maybachs.
I want to say yes, but I'm pretty sure
they were exact.
On a lot of drugs at those times.
Yeah. They were exact, Donnie. Like if you and I walked up to it, we wouldn't know that it wasn't real. And Jeremy Clarkson was honest. He's like, and guys, I'm going to be honest with you. They don't just look exact. You know, they've got, you know, that same power. So if there's differences, it's almost hard to measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get one, I'm sure it's probably pretty easy to clone it, you know?
Right. Problem is, I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm looking forward to catching back up on that. Paul, is it going to be like if I watch an episode tonight, I got to wait a week, or are they going? Yeah, so I'll have to wait. I
won't watch it till it's all out.
I can't do it, dude.
That's an archaic way to fucking put out shows. Like, put the whole fucking thing out.
I'm spoiled, man. I have to watch the whole season, and I'll do it all in one night. Like, I'll lay down in bed, and the sun will come up when I'm finishing watching that. But yeah, I just because you guys, I don't remember who. I know you mentioned it, but I checked out Lioness, and I watched the whole first season and enjoyed it. And then I realized that season 2 was out, and I was like, hell yeah, I can keep going. But it was one episode.
Yep.
I was like, so I'm not even gonna look at it again.
We got them sitting waiting on download.
Yeah. Let me tell you this too, Donnie. Something I really appreciate. I have gotten a little bit frustrated with, and I hate to use political sounding words, but like the DEI role casting in movies and TV. Like I don't want every show I watch for the female to be the most badass person in it. You know what I mean? And that's just me. But Taylor Sheridan did a really good job of making her be a badass without
a bad bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see her win a fist fight over prime Dave Bautista. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's the thing. She's a bad bitch, but she's not that kind of bad bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did a really good job of making it believable. You know, she's a bad bitch because she's very well trained, and yeah. So if you guys haven't seen Lioness,
it's not as good as Yellowstone, but it's fun.
Yeah, the writing's not as good as Yellowstone. I'll say that.
Yellowstone is just like, it's one of those shows. Like Sheridan knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's more his line of expertise.
No, it is, and that dude's crazy smart and super history buff. Like that dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's in season 2 of Lioness.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was jacked like that.
Me neither.
That dude's jacked. Like he's a stud.
Is he jacked or is he yoked?
I don't know. I don't know the difference.
Do you ever watch Letterkenny?
I used to, and since
there's like an ongoing joke between the gay boys at the gym.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, is he stacked or is he yoked or is he whatever? Like,
yeah. I'll admit, I only started watching Letterkenny because of the chick. That she drew me in right off the bat. What's her name?
What's that now?
Who's the hot chick on Letterkenny?
Oh, Katie?
Yeah.
I don't know her real name, but yeah.
Yeah, she drew me in, but that show was fucking
weird.
Hilarious, man.
No, that show was fucking great.
Yeah. But since I cut the cable, I'm not even sure where to find it now, so I haven't watched it in a long time.
Oh, I feel you. Hey man, if you send me a little little memory stick thing, if you got a way to play movies from that, me and my brother, we fucking have like 1,000 movies downloaded, man. I'll send you whatever you want.
I mean, I've got a smart TV and it's got a USB. Is that all it needs?
I don't know. I'd have to ask Ernie. I don't know enough about that shit. That's what technical boys for.
I may get a new TV for long because I really want one that I can get. I want one that has Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So like I can play it through my Bluetooth speaker or headphones or
for sure.
Stuff like that. Because I don't, man, for all I know, this one does, and I just don't know it.
Yeah. Dude, tech is crazy now, and it's fucking getting wild.
And it's getting cheap. And I guess
I don't know. I fucking hate Shoresy's character, Demon Arc. Like, it was cool for a little bit in the beginning, but like I was over him and a whole show about him.
Yeah.
So I just don't care to watch it.
Yeah.
What else are we watching? We didn't watch shit. Oh, we started watching Suits. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I'll be honest though, dude. I haven't been able to get into the Mayor of Kingstown. I've started it.
What?
It just.
What?
I'm not saying it's not good.
I love that show. I think it's amazing.
It just hasn't grasped me yet. But I've only watched up till the episode where his brother dies. So
you got it. No, well, because that's where Renner becomes the man. He becomes his brother's position, basically. Like he does what his brother does.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. But that is the start of the upturn. Like,
well,
dude,
that's what I'm saying. Like for something,
give it some more time, dude. It is solid as fuck.
For me to dedicate hours to something, dude, it has to grab me pretty quick.
I feel you. But, and that's the thing they did with that. Like, they made, they delayed Renner being his main role. You know what I mean? So, give it a couple more eps.
I'm a big Jeremy Renner fan. I don't know anything about him personally, but I'm a fan of
me neither.
His movies.
But I like him as an actor.
Yeah. That scene with him and Ben Affleck in the town. Where Affleck walks in and says,
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, when he walks in and says, don't he's asking you questions, we got to go somewhere, we're going to hurt some people. And Jeremy Renner says, which car we take? Dude, that's one of the best scenes in any movie ever. He doesn't hesitate, doesn't think about the repercussions, just which car we take.
That's your real homie, And we all got, I got at least one.
Yeah.
Kathleen, what up? I'm grabbing a beer real fast.
even people that don't have that, I think it's almost they could almost do a psychological survey on it, because all men desire that. All men want to have that dude that they can call and like, hey man, this is going down, and you can hear him starting his car, while he's answering you. You know what I mean?
I've been that dude for.
Yeah, we all desire that. Yeah, I mean, I've got a buddy I grew up with right now, dude. That he spent years in prison. I ask him what crimes he hasn't committed, because it's easier that way. What crimes have you not committed? And he's like, rape and bank robbery, unless you count ATMs. But we don't talk all that often. But if I called him right now and I'm like, hey man, I got a carload of dudes headed to my house, he'd be here in moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I feel you.
Yeah.
I got a homie I fell out with a little bit, but like we're still fucking. Yeah. We're still that kind of fucking homie,
Yeah. And it is a great feeling, not just for that sense of security, but to know, like that old military saying, there is no love like a man that was laid down his life for his brother. I'm sure I messed that up, but
sure, but yeah, well, I get what you're saying there. Yeah. That's real life, man. Or dudes you've been in like actual like good fights with.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's best acting job was trying to be happy with J-Lo. Dude, I'll say this: if Ben Affleck has found out how Diddy turned her out and still wants to be with her, he's a bitch.
Yeah, no, that makes you bitch.
Yeah,
no, that makes you bitch.
They're
One Moon for sure, man.
Yeah.
Mad Yako. I don't know what your name means, but I like saying it. It's like the word wangle. It's just a fun word to say. Mad Yako.
I don't know who Mad Yako is.
Fuck, I don't know either, man.
I talked to him on the phone the other day. He came out of nowhere.
He was live and shit or whatever.
And he's just white trash enough that I like him immediately.
Yeah, he's got a little weird hair thing on the back. I was like, the white trash is peeking out of the back.
Do not ruin it, Tyler. Don't give me a reason not to like you, because
Mad Yako, I mean, we're white trash as fuck.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, you might be a piece of shit, but I don't know you. So
I don't know if you got my text.
So far, it's love.
I don't know if you got my text, Tyler, but I apologize. I forgot to send you that email address, but I sent it to you about 20 minutes ago. He was the bomb in Phantoms, yo. I don't know what you're talking about, Demon Dog. I don't think I know what Phantoms is. Are we still talking about Ben Affleck?
Affleck?
Yeah. Crispy, I don't know that I agree with that, dude. I really feel like he's in charge of that relationship. I could be wrong.
Fuck up. Are you really talking about like celebrity relationships right now? Like you know fuck all about it?
You're right. I guess
get the fuck on.
Just because of his movie roles, I assume he's an alpha male, but
he might be, unless that bitch has heels on.
Right. Yeah, but like
we are weak men.
Yeah, Kevin Smith reference. Yeah, I really felt bad for Kevin Smith when he was talking about how good of friends him and Ben were, and Jennifer Garner pretty much forbid Ben from hanging out with Kevin Smith. I thought that was pretty sad.
Marcel, what do you mean get back to Earth? What?
Y'all may be right, it's not right. I could be pretty wrong. Like I said, I'm probably judging a guy by movie characters I've seen him play, and that's probably stupid of me.
Depends on the movies you've seen, for sure.
Yeah. But especially that role in The Boys. He was the man, And then Good Will Hunting. If you don't like Good Will Hunting,
I'll agree. Good Will Hunting's an awesome movie.
Good Will Hunting was incredible, dude. Yeah, another one of the greatest moments in movie history when he's talking to Robin Williams about how his dad used to let him pick between the wrench or the belt, And he's like, I always pick the wrench. And he's like, why would you do that? He's like, because fuck him. That's why. Dude, that was. If you grew up with an abusive dad, that scene really hits hard, man.
For sure, man. I'm sure.
Yeah. I like Clerks and all. Tyler, have you seen Clerks 3? I absolutely loved Clerks 3, man. I ain't gonna deny it, dude. I shed a tear in Clerks 3. Not because the movie was sad, but it was just it was the dying of our youth for everybody. You know, everybody that grew up with that movie, you know, it just reminded you that it's over. You know, it's just it's sad. It's a joke. 0 Irish Americans are witnesses. Meersalt, it's entirely possible.
Dude, I never saw Clerks 3.
Huh?
I never saw Clerks 3.
Well, not a lot of people did. We had to go out of town to watch it. It wasn't even in theaters here.
I forgot about it until you just brought it up. I'm like, holy shit.
I've
never watched that movie.
If you were really connected to Clerks 1 and 2, if you really connected to those characters,
dude, I watched every movie Kevin Smith's done like 1,000.
You'll love Clerks 3, dude. I won't talk any more about it, so I don't want to ruin it for you, but I think you'll love it. Now, if you're new to all of it, you know, the cinematography, the production quality is not great, so you might not get into it.
It's cult classic shit, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't get people into it now, but you have to like guide them into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hold on.
Mimo, you need to check those out. Clerks is just silly fun for the sake of silly fun, but Good Will Hunting was it's a pretty deep movie, dude. It was a passing of a Demrock again. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just asked Ernie why we
I'm
never
smart enough to know what that word means. But I don't want to ruin it for Donnie, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
I was like, Ernie, why have we never seen Clerks 3? He was like, because it probably sucked. Well, it's on download now, so I will see it soon.
I'm really easy to get emotionally attached to characters. In fact, if I can't, I don't really enjoy what I'm watching. So I am prone to get emotional watching a movie, but I enjoy the fact
that's the point of a movie is to evoke emotion.
I'm glad that
if they're good at making it, it should evoke emotion of some form.
Yeah,
I fucking love film, man.
I can't imagine people who like. How do you enjoy anything if you don't get emotionally involved in it?
Yeah, man, you got to be able to like submerge yourself into it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Michael Upchurch, yes. He's talking about Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Tarantino fan myself, and there for a long time, if you asked me, my favorite movies were all Tarantino movies and the Boondock Saints series. They were at the very top of my list. I've since expanded some.
I just got like my favorite movies list is now like 100 films. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to have a top list because they're like all equal to me. You know, like if somebody's like, "What's your all-time favorite?" It's Coming to America. That's my favorite movie ever.
I get that. I like Coming to America, but I had a roommate.
I fucking love that movie. That and Trading Places. Holy fucking shit.
When I worked at a tattoo shop and I lived with Brett, we didn't have cable television because we were never at home. But every time we were at home, it was Coming to America or Trading Places. And every girl he met, he forced them to watch it. So
fuck yeah, I did too.
I just got so sick of both of those movies that I could.
Well, I could see that if it wasn't necessarily your jam, you know, like yeah. Because even nowadays I'll watch it a lot, but I will fast forward through many parts of it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this part is horrible, or boring, or whatever.
Well, it's also just the awkwardness of making some 18-year-old girl sit through Coming to America. Dude,
Eddie, I don't want to hear you cry. Kisses.
I see that, Kyle. I'm not gonna acknowledge it because I know you're being an asshole. And there's been a lot of talk about Boondock Saints 3. I mean,
that was just a terrible idea.
Yeah, because 2, I still enjoyed 2 just because I'm that big a fanboy, but it was nothing
But it
compared
didn't have the magic that the first one did.
Now, the first one, the humor was very natural.
That's what I'm saying.
The second, the humor
it
was
was so
written in.
organic. You know, it just worked.
Yeah. The second one, the humor was written in.
Rocco, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
The scene with the cat, like, you can't reproduce something like that. You can't make something that good again.
Yeah, they tried to replace Rocco with Clifton Collins Jr.
Right.
He did a fine job. It just wasn't the same character, and the humor was too.
Maddie will not hug you.
Huh?
Sorry. Maddie's trying to get me to hug him.
Oh.
We blessed kids aren't huggers.
Yeah. Caddyshack was a great movie, Kyle. I think
Caddyshack, dude. See, that goes on the list too. That's fucking amazing.
I think that was one of the first adult comedies I watched.
Sterling, you'll get nothing and like it.
Yeah, that was one of the first adult comedies I watched as a child. I think I was probably at about that, puberty stage. So I got a lot of the comedy, but I had to go back and watch it a few years later to really absorb it all. But yeah, that was good shit.
Oh man, I was never.
Weird how now, dude, you can go back and watch these kid cartoons, and you're
kid
like,
cartoons were fucked up, dude. We watched Ren and Stimpy and shit.
I had no, even before Ren and Stimpy, some of your
Bugs Bunny, all that shit. Yeah, that shit was real fucked up.
Very adult tones that fortunately we didn't catch as children. It went right over our heads. But I'm like, why did they even include that?
Thanks, Mom, for filling me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get censored.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, I did, but I just got censored by not having cable television.
Oh yeah, well my dad was a super nerd, so like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we had to have the sci-fi, we had to have all of it, man.
Yeah. So we just had 3 channels. It was
I was spoiled in that fashion.
It was the big.
Otherwise, not spoiled.
I will never forget one year. It was the greatest birthday present ever. I remember that they passed a law that went into effect on April 16th, which was my birthday, allowing them to show women in their underwear on television. It was the best birthday present I ever received. Nice. I was so excited. But
Snot Rag, that's one of my all-time favorite movies. Also saw it whenever it came out. I don't know how old I was. But literally, I was never censored, man. I mean, I've fucking seen everything since I was born. My mom and dad did not give a fuck.
Quentin had something to do with Natural
Born.
They
didn't believe in raising ignorant children.
Didn't Quentin Tarantino have something to do with Natural Born? Did he write it or?
I don't remember something.
But
the beginning of that with Rodney Dangerfield being that dirty dad. Rodney Dangerfield directed that portion.
Right.
Yeah.
He wrote it. Yeah, I knew he
wrote it. Maybe. Yeah.
He didn't get a lot of credit for it, but yeah, I can see though where
Natural. Mad Yako, I got Shamfers for days, motherfucker. Watch me.
Natural Born Killers.
Thank you.
It wasn't as globally.
It's too artsy. That movie's weird as fuck.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It was a bit edgy for
Tommy Lee Jones, all sweaty, it's spitting, and like, oh my god, so good.
Yeah, it was kind of like
Maddie, yeah, my mom's not soft. She didn't want to raise ignorant children.
I can't believe I just forgot the name of that movie, dude. Apocalypse Now. Even you can love war movies and not love Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. I fucking hate watching it.
Yeah.
I give it credit to certain aspects and characters where it's due, but fuck, dude, it's a tough watch.
It is.
It's like all of the Godfathers. Are they good? Yeah, but are they easy to watch? No.
Yeah, I'm that way with the Godfathers. It just lulls me to sleep before I get, before I get the point, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, oh fuck, it's still going.
Yeah.
Demon Hawk, yeah, I'm saying, but Demon Hawk, you should hang out with my old buddy Meatloaf, who brought me up at the shop, man. You two are peas in a pod, homie.
Yeah. Demon Hawk, he definitely did write True Romance. That's
Maddie, I prefer Apocalypse
True Romance
now, motherfucker.
True Romance will never move out of my at least top 3. If it's not number 1, it's top 3.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah. That curb stomping scene is for
What are you talking about?
I think they're talking about
American History
American
X.
History X.
That movie's pretty fucked up. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it, and I
mean,
think
it was a good movie, but I've only seen it maybe like 4 times because I watched it with other people. Like, I haven't watched
it was
it.
also one of those movies that
You don't really need to watch it more than once.
I think it was one of those movies that we needed at that time.
I don't know what that fucking means, but right on.
Well, it's just that whole, you know, how he transitioned from being this super hateful racist and realizing that, you know, that's not what people are about. And,
Oh yeah, no, totally. I got you. I got you. All right.
I think it came out at the right time, and it served more purpose than entertainment.
Yeah, man, it's real life, man. Like,
yeah.
And at the end, when fucking Terminator boy gets smoked because he blew smoke in that cat's face earlier.
Yeah,
that's real life, man. I mean,
yeah.
I ain't got shot over some shit like that, but I've definitely gotten beat up for doing some stupid shit like that when I was younger, being cocky, you know.
Jeffrey Dawson said Full Metal Jacket is basically 2 movies for the price of 1.
Oh my god, it is.
But the second movie's not near as good as the first.
Nope.
You know, they could have just ended it when he killed that could have ended the movie right. I actually didn't
100%.
like the whole rest of the film. I'm like, why am I still watching? Why are we still going?
Yeah, dude. That drags.
The rest of it didn't make near as much sense to me.
Clockwork Orange is fucking amazing. There's still some lull areas, but fucking amazing.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange is one of those you have to get through the entire thing though to realize what it's really. It's not just gratuitous violence.
No.
There is a lot of gratuitous violence in it.
There's a point to it. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to force yourself, especially if you're, I don't want to say weak stomached, but if you don't like watching things like that, it might be hard to get through till you realize the actual point of it all.
Well, and also though, the good thing about that is like, yes, it's pretty visual, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you don't like see gore, you don't really see anything.
Yeah. Evil Dead.
It's like soft.
I'm gonna let me say this, dude. I heard a lot of people trash this movie.
With what movie?
I thought Cabin in the Woods, to me, was one of the most fun horror movies I've watched in a long time.
That movie's fucking ridiculous.
It is so fun, though, dude.
I saw that in the theaters.
Yeah, I loved that movie.
Yeah.
And so many people wanted to trash it, and it just reminded me of what horror movies were supposed to be. You know, they were just supposed to be fun, and it was. Kyle has that dick sculpture from Clockwork. He don't call it a sculpture though, and it fits in his nightstand.
Oh, yeah. And he's always playing with it. Boing, 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 boing.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange has cod pieces. Well, maybe you'll get a cod piece one day, Maddie. Evil Dead 2, though. I'm not sure I remember Evil Dead 2. I know I watched the remake of Evil Dead, and I enjoyed it.
But it's not. It's a different thing, though.
Yeah, and all the purists made out like it was. I enjoyed it.
It's just not the same thing.
Right.
One's a campy, fucking goofy thing from back in the day, and now they try to make it a modern horror movie.
Yeah. I enjoy modern version.
It's just different.
Yeah.
You can't recreate Ash, you know, so.
Right. Yeah, I probably need to go back and watch the original. I don't know. I wouldn't swear that I've watched.
Paul Mills, just watch fucking the third one, the good one.
I can't swear that I've watched the entire first one.
It's fine. It's fun, but really, you just need to watch Army of Darkness, the third one.
I can't swear that I've watched all of it either. I know I've seen bits and pieces.
That one, you already get clips from the old ones in it, so that's cool. And then it's basically the same movie, just a little better and still just as retarded.
But I like all kind of movies. Like I thought, I've seen some flick chicks that I thought were awesome, dude. Still Magnolias is an excellent movie. If you got a heart, Still Magnolias is an excellent film. Make fun of me all you want.
I can't make fun of you because I told you I'm into film, so I understand what you're saying right now. I'm trying to think of movies that go along.
Yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You is the greatest teenage chick flick ever made. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hold on, there's this fucking rom-com, like romantic comedy from like back in the day. It's got Salma Hayek and old boy who was on Friends. Can't remember his name.
I don't think I remember that one.
God damn it, it's funny as fuck.
I'm not sure.
I can't think of it. I'll think of it at some point. But I get it, man.
Fried Green Tomatoes, excellent movie. You know, I have to be. Well, that's the thing. I'm never in the mood to watch those movies. I'm always trapped. And then I watch it and I'm like, man, this is actually really good. You know what I mean? I don't know how many movies I've experienced that way where I was, you know, on a date or whatever. But I don't want to say I was forced to watch it, but I was in a situation where I ended up watching it. And yeah, there's been a lot of those movies.
Hey, man, I've seen Grey's Anatomy, so I feel you.
10 Greatest Knives, go. Paul Mills, that is as hard as 10 greatest movies of all time.
Greatest knives in what category? Used for what?
And even if you break down categories, it's so opinionated, you know, like right now.
I got a Gavco on me.
Yeah. And you might think that's one of the 10. I don't know. I've never experienced it.
I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever held something that I consider the greatest knife ever.
Yeah.
This is a good knife.
You're talking about handmade, production made. Like I've been saying for a while now, I think SPK is the premier knife maker right now. But that is I mean, I guess at this point you'd consider, even though it's him doing it, it's still, is that production or?
No, it's small batch production, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But he is super upfront about it. He's like, I don't hand make knives. Right. This is what I fucking do.
Right.
He CNCs the shit, but
yeah, so you're talking about small batch.
Has a great fucking knife.
You know,
his knives are fucking great.
Right. Yeah, because we tend when we get in these conversations to forget about the mind-blowingly incredible work that comes out of some of these South African dudes too.
Oh yeah, totally. There's like Brian is super big on South African makers.
Yeah, they don't tend to get into the as much into the steels that we desire, but
no, but their fit and finish quality is cool and or is fucking awesome, and probably just because of where they live, their prices are good for us.
Yeah. Who's getting a shark tomorrow? I don't know. Is he running that same price? Was that a one-time thing, or is he still running the sharks super affordable?
Is that SPK's Fixie?
Yeah. He sold them for like $147 or something like that here.
Damn, that's cheap.
It's dirt cheap. But
I wouldn't be able to sell that for that.
Right. You know, the machine's making it while he's doing something else.
Totally. I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's not a good knife. I'm just saying like that's his advantage.
I'll never be able to make a knife as good as that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's his advantage.
It's robotically perfect.
That's why he can sell them cheap. And I appreciate that he's not a cocksucker.
Yeah.
He is selling them at a
Well, no, he's doing that because he is a cocksucker.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
In case you guys don't know,
he's my kind of asshole.
Right. Alex was the first. The reason why you guys are getting sharks at 140 was to spit in the eye of Ben Belkin. That's the only reason he's doing that.
Yep.
100%. He started selling the shark at that price because Ben's fixed blade was $247. I think Alex missed out. I think he should have sold it for $199. People would have still bought it. Still got a great deal. It's still
but now he can really hold on to his pride. He can just be like, "Fuck you," you know. And I appreciate that because pride be getting the best of me. You know, it always hurts and it never helps.
I do agree with Kyle though. I do wish he would go back to crew wear. I've just never been. I don't know. I just don't get excited about Van-X. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the best steel in the world.
I've never fucked with Van-X.
But I tend to have learned that if you're making something and your main goal is to make it as as corrosion resistant as possible, that tends to mean it's going to lack in the areas that I get excited about. Oh, he uses Elmax, not Van-X. Sorry, Stunt Ray. And I don't know much about Elmax either, to be honest with you.
Marcel, do you own a Delbor or did you just have one in hand?
Large pyrite. That pyrite's a pretty decent little knife, dude.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I just haven't fucked with a lot of steels yet. Like,
Yeah.
I don't buy knives, and
some of you are gonna just be floored by this statement, but my daughter carried a Spyderco Tenacious.
Kyle, mine's better.
Since she was about 14, and it fell apart. It was literally just the blade was rubbing the liner. It was just falling apart. So I bought her that pink CJRB Pyrite. And I know what everybody's thinking, but Shane. But that is my point, dude. That knife serves a purpose. It's a cheap knife. It will do everything she needs it to do. And if that's why you're buying Chinese knives, I have no issue with that. You know, I just disagree with buying 50 of them. I would have given her my riffle, but I like that riffle too much. I don't keep talking about the riffle because it's that great a knife, but my riffle has a set of custom Koa scales on it from Andrew at Hawaii Knife and Gear. It's really more about the scales than it is the knife. I mean, it's just a 14C leaf-shaped blade. Not that much special about it, but what are we talking about here? I gotta get my glasses, dude. I can't see shit. What are y'all saying? Just borrow Dolly Bar. What is?
He's a maker.
What are they talking about? Dolly?
He's a knife maker.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Somebody like post a link or something.
I have one in Vanex. You have what in Vanex, Paul? You have an SPK in Vanex? I believe that's possible. But I did think Vanex was like his main steel now. But after hearing it, that
also, y'all, give me a little time, Dalbor. I'll be there. I'll be at that level, motherfuckers. I'll be there.
Anyone here?
Shane, I'll send you a link to his page, man. This dude makes the fucking insane knives.
Todd Carr, I have not, dude. I think about it sometimes, and it actually worries me a little bit. He's kind of fell off the. I say that maybe he just got frustrated with the community. I don't know, but I haven't seen or heard anything from him in a long time. And we used to talk fairly regularly. He makes his own steel and knives. Okay.
Dude, his shit is nasty, man.
When you say he makes his own steel, I mean, is he doing like powder metallurgy? And
I think he makes his own Timascus for sure. I don't know enough about him in that aspect. Shane, I tagged you in one of his posts on Instagram, so check it out as you will.
All right.
But it's fucking insane. Like his inlays, and then he's like inlays. Like, it's fucked up.
I'll admit, dude, you've got me kind of addicted to Scorpion 6.
Shane is a boss, dude. He makes badass shit.
Yeah, and he makes the shit that I love. It's not necessarily the most useful or carryable stuff.
Yep.
I'm a man child, dude. I like scary, tactical looking knives.
I get you, man. I get you. I struggle with this in my own design aspects because I want them to be useful, but I also want them to be kind of whacked out and weird looking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Oh, you're looking at it? Yeah, that dude's work is insane, man. Like, I want to be there someday, for sure.
Well, that's entirely possible.
But no, Shane at Scorpion 6, the dude is just, his work ethic is like next to none. The dude is just a bad motherfucker. Does everything in house. He does get his shit water jetted, which I'm about to do anyway. But everything else is in house by hand, manual milled.
Kyle, send that to me. Text that to me, dude. I won't be able to find this later, and if I wouldn't know how to hit that and go there without shutting the stream down either.
Him, or like, if y'all know who Lerman Customs is, man, if I could own a Lerman knife someday, fuck me.
I think I'm gonna do some more of that wormwood stuff, dude.
Wormwood?
Hey, remember you telling me that rock pattern looked more like wormwood?
Oh yeah, totally.
The more I look at it, dude, the more I like it. I know I've at least got one knife I'm going to do it on.
Yeah, man, experiment. That's how people come up with new shit, you know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Experiment, refine it, you know.
And
All
that
that.
knife is so thick that it definitely wasn't going to hurt it.
That chain experiment.
But I'd like to do
Rare sighting.
What's up, Ern? I'd like to do one like that and do more of it. Acid etch it. Yeah, do the wormwood stuff, acid etch it, and then go back and re-sand the blade so that just that part is black. I think that'd look cool as shit.
Yeah. One Moon for sure, man.
Let's see if I can figure out what I do with my glasses, y'all. I can't see shit.
I would ferment wormwood. That's right.
I see them. Hang on, give me just a second.
Psychonauts unite. Paul Mills, you're in luck, man. Mine come in at just under $1,200, man. It's your lucky day. Holler at me. Absinthe, One Moon, is that what you're talking about? I've never had real absinthe. Mostly because I heard it tastes like black licorice, and I've done a lot of drugs in my past, so it's probably not even all that crazy.
Snot Rag, I got a question. Are you left-handed? Attention, Snot Rag, are you left-handed?
Attention, lefties. I do make left-handed knives.
I want to see the answer to this.
Paul.
I thought absinthe had a Y in it, Kyle.
I don't know how to fucking.
But I'm from Alabama, so who knows? I'm right-handed, Shane.
Paul Mills.
Why is a clip on this
I
backwards?
had to do my shameless plug, you know.
Because this clip, like, I put this thing in my pocket and realized that this hook is supposed to catch the back part of your pants. Did you catch the front part of your pants with it? Is that how you were
Well, which pocket is it in? If it's in a
put it in
back
my
pocket,
right- if I put it in my right front pocket,
then you'd want to pull it
The hook-
backwards.
yeah, but the way he's got the clip right now, the hook is facing forward. So I didn't know if that's how he was doing it
Whoa.
or
We're getting dangerous tonight, y'all.
because if I put the clip on the other side, you're supposed to catch. Oh, you're supposed to catch them. That might be so. I don't know.
I never liked wave features, A, because I've never wanted or tried to use a knife as self-defense.
Right.
So I don't need it to open.
Oh, I'm
them and get it
sure
in
I
my
won't
pocket.
ever either, dude. But I fucking love this thing.
No, that's a fun little knife. I was just speaking
love
on
it.
the wave. I was speaking on the wave function specifically.
Right.
This is not my jam.
I love the way. I love everything about it, man. I've been so excited about this thing. I will say this:
I've wanted to make a ringed Ripley. I don't know if anybody will buy it, but
it does create some ergonomic issues in pocket here and there. But I've never heard anybody say that, Snot Rag, that you're supposed to catch the front of the pocket. Maybe you are. Maybe I've been doing it wrong all this time.
oh,
But
so you're supposed to like draw it forward?
I always came back with it to deploy it.
Yeah.
But I love this thing. Let me tell you what this is the best at. For those of you who really know me and know what I use my knives for more than anything, this is the hands down the best knife I own for what I use knives more than anything, and that is opening a fresh can of dip. Dude, that hawk, that little talon just lays right in that groove. You rotate the can; it's so perfect.
Spoken like a true junkie.
Yeah, nothing will open some grizzly like the Spyderco Carahawk. I ran through 3/4 on 4 CQB classes with it. Okay. Had it as left-hand carry. If I couldn't get to my pistol, I switched it back before I sent it to you. I got you. Paul Mills, I just said it's the Spyderco Carahawk. And it's just VG10. Let me tell you something. We were all wrong about VG10 to begin with. We're all crazy about 14C. VG10 and 14C.
If Shun makes the VG10, it blows.
I don't know who Shun is.
They make kitchen knives.
Oh. Well, My
it was
point
that
is, though,
BT10 Damascus, and it's fucking shitty.
my point is, this is not going to. I'm not using this in a fashion where I care if it stays sharp forever. That's
What
all.
up, bro? KZ, what up?
In all honesty, I'd carry this in 3CR because I'm going to open dip cans with it, and if I ever had to use it for what its intended use is, it's going to go in the evidence locker anyway. What difference does it make? So I don't need a Carahawk in K390. But yeah, dude, that I know Mick brought it up earlier. I'm not going to share it because I try not to share things unless people give me express permission. But that Spyderco amalgam of Nemo's, he's really got me wanting one of those knives.
So I fucking fixed I got like 4 chef friends in town, and they all have some of those at home, and they all suck.
But Cole, I don't have a thumbnail. I mean, I do,
all of them.
but it won't grab anything. Like I can't use it to open my. Let's see.
Yuck, yuck.
I got it, but barely. And don't let anybody lie to y'all that you can't turn 1095 into a damn laser because Kyle did. Now, am I actually going to use it? I don't know. I like knowing that it's stupid sharp at the moment. But I think if you look up knife in the dictionary or pocket knife, that's probably what it should show. That's as classic a pocket knife as it gets.
Yeah, that's pretty basic.
FOF is my favorite shit.
Todd Carr for sure. That's why I specifically said shun, because their shit is just trash.
Yeah, Todd Carr, I actually had a N690 Kaiser Roach that I wasn't like attached to the knife or anything, so I kind of did some testing with it. And I laid that N690 back to 11 degrees. So 11 degrees per side. Now, I've never looked up the specs on it. I don't know what Blade HQ says its toughness or edge or any of that shit is. But I put it at 11 degrees. And within 2 weeks, I'd cut myself, I think, either 5 or 6 times just playing, opening and closing it. But my point is, I used it quite a bit. And at 11 degrees, that held at edge for a long time. And it never did roll or chip, or I didn't have any issues with it. Yeah. Cody, you're right, dude. It's a damn good design. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to talk about you were talking about N690.
Yeah.
So before I started making, right when I started making knives, I was following this knife maker. I don't know where he's from, like Ukraine or fucking somewhere. I don't know. His name's Marco something. I don't know his last name. He used to go by Saturn Knives. Now he just goes by his own name. But I bought my little brother Ernie this knife here. It's a little fixie. It's an N690.
Yeah.
It's got a little Damascus bolster. And Ernie's had this. How long you had this now, Ernie? Like 4 or 5 years?
At least.
At least 4 or 5 years. And it's great, dude. It's N690. He treats it himself. And it's thin edge. It's held up fucking great.
That's what I'm getting at. I think the reason my N690 performs so well is because I got it so thin behind the edge. But what I was shocked by was how durable it still seemed to be. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't hammering it through copper either. You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
just for daily use, it handled 11 degrees. But like, he's not around anymore. We used to have a guy in the community. Dude, he was a staple. You know what I mean? He was in every live stream. You guys know what I'm talking about, but it was JN. And JN borrowed a Spyderco from me. He wanted to check it out. And he immediately texted me back and he's like, man, why does this thing have 2 bevels on it? He's like, it looks like it sharpened it 2 different. I was like, yeah, because I sharpened that S30V to 15 degrees. And I don't ever remember even cutting anything hard with it. It was like every time I checked it, it had a new chip. So I just went back and put a 20-degree micro bevel on it, and it performed great after that. But my point is, at 15 degrees, my S30V was chipping. At 11, N690 was doing just fine. So, yeah, but it's funny you say that, Jeffrey, because everybody wants to, tends to take Larry Thomas's word for everything, and he has always said that geometry cuts and geometry is the number one attribute to edge retention. So
for sure. Oh, that dude is Marko Zagar, and he's from Slovenia. But he makes fucking killer fucking knives, man.
Yeah. That ATS-34, isn't that the name of it? I think it's kind of big in South Africa too. Isn't that right? Is that ATS-34?
I think so, yeah.
I've seen a lot of South African knives in that. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know shit about it either. That's what I'm saying, man. I really only have like a lot of experience with like 5-6 steels.
Yeah. Kyle prefers girthy phallic geometry.
Nice.
I love when people attack Kyle.
And the girth. Kyle can take it. He's fine.
Oh, yeah. He got thick skin.
And he's already been gaped, so, the girth is fine.
Right. Won't bother him at all. Paul, I agree. ATS-34, RWL-34, 154 CM, all similar. Yeah.
Dude, CPM 154
I guess
is
the RWL
my favorite fucking steels.
I think RWL-34 is the one I'm thinking of that the South Africans use.
Oh, no, totally. I think you are right. Yeah.
So I think Arno Bernard used a bunch of at one point in time. Yeah, Jeffrey, I've got one. And, dude, let me tell you something, man. That is no bullshit. When I got that knife from him, it came in just a cardboard sleeve. And because it's W2, I think is what it is, I literally just sprayed the cardboard sleeve until it was saturated in, it was just aerosol extra virgin olive oil. I'm sure it's not really olive oil. But anyway, I sprayed the cardboard so it was soaked with that, and we keep the knife in it all the time. Never goes in the sink. We clean it. As soon as we use it, we clean it and put it right back. But it's still patining a little bit. But, man, it is – I had never used a proper kitchen knife ever until using that thing. And I was like, I didn't know that potatoes weren't supposed to make that snapping sound when you cut them. They make that sound because you're breaking it.
Yeah.
The knife starts a cut and then it snaps off.
Yeah.
When you use one of Steve's, you never hear that. It's just totally silent. It just passes through with 2 ounces of pressure. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, man. Make a chef knife, man.
I am. I've got 4 coming from Heat Treat now.
Nice.
I'm not going to say
I've only made 2 full size ones, and they both worked great for what they were. They were like basic ones. They didn't have any crazy like S grind or anything, but
yeah, mine won't have. They're not going to have a hamon or any of that stuff.
No. Mine were just,
and I'm sure they won't perform like his does because it's my first ones. I'm still learning. Shane cuts.
And it's a different beast, man, than like the normal stuff either of us make.
Right. To be honest, Beer Salt, I cut potatoes. I don't cut vegetables. I couldn't tell you how it performs cutting some broccoli because I don't fucking chop broccoli.
Crewware is the best. An S grind. How do I do this? Fuck. Here's a knife. So it'll be like. There'll be a hollow grind like right here, like midway above, and then there'll be a normal flat like V grind, and then you'll have your bevel. So there's like a hollow in the center of the blade all the way down. So when you look at it, but it's only on one side. It's on the
But that's
cutting
just so
side.
that you don't trap the material, right?
Yeah. It's only on the cutting side. So this side is a normal V grind, and then this side has that hollow down just the center of it. So then when you look at it head on, it looks like an S.
Yeah, that's just so that that moist vegetable just falls off instead of
Yeah. So it doesn't stick to it for sure.
Yeah, mine won't have that either.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mine don't have that shit either.
Yeah.
It's cool. I know how to do it, but I don't A, have the wheels for it, and B, I've never done it. I understand.
I had several people say, and I know this is impossible.
I don't know if they're big, Kyle. Well, I don't know. I don't know who originated it, but I know they're big in some form.
But mine are 3/32 blade stock.
That's the
They're
thing.
2 inches tall. And the reason I did that is because the majority of the people are like, hey man, I just want one knife I can do everything with in the kitchen. I was like, well, that's possible, but that means it's going to do everything mid-tier. It's not going to be.
Yeah, it's like an all-season tire.
3/32, it's still got enough girth at the spine that you could do some chopping with it, but because it's 2 inches tall, it should get down thin enough that it slices very well. Now, is it going to be a high-end sushi knife? No, but
Right.
for what I'm selling them for, the average guy like me who's not a professional chef it should do just fine. Or I could fucking ruin all 4 of them. You know what I mean? Trying to get them ground thin enough. That's still entirely possible. That's yet to be seen.
Oh, for sure.
Because I've ground through 2 knives so far, like trying to get them thin and blow through. One completely blew through, and the other, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But the other, I had gotten it so thin that when I was grinding that side, when I took it off of the jig,
Did it warp?
it was blue on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
It got hot on the opposite side,
Yeah.
so it was ruined. Yeah, but dude, I've literally been using. We didn't own any like kitchen knives, like none. We didn't own a single real, not even a cheap Walmart one, dude.
For OKZ, I use my paring knife more than I use my chef knife.
I was gifted a honey badger, that ugly sheep cliff blade honey badger at HCR, and I got it as sharp as I could get it and put it in the kitchen. And that was literally our kitchen knife for like 2 years. Because it's such a shit knife, I didn't trust it for anything else.
I still don't have a full-size kitchen knife that I've made yet for myself. I got a paring knife I made, and that's it. Otherwise, I have shitty, like, Paula Deen knives.
Right. Well, I got lucky. Steve was kind enough to... I was looking behind Steve's grinder, dude, and there's like a stack of knives this tall, dude. No handles, just knife blanks. I was like, what are all these? He's like, oh, those are all scrap. And I picked it up and I was looking at it. I couldn't find a damn thing. I was like, dude, what's wrong with this knife? He's like, look at the hamon. The hamon literally dipped into the edge, like the last quarter inch right at the handle. So I get it. That little quarter inch of steel is not as hard as the rest of the edge.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But he wouldn't sell it.
That's like some.
And I was like, well, what are you going to do?
Silly, dumb Brian shit.
He's like, what are you going to do with it? He's like, I can't sell it. He's like, I'll scrap it. So I said, well, I'm taking it home. He already had handles on it. I was like, well, I'm taking it home. And he's like, not cleaning it up, you know. So he buffed it up and got it sharp and gave it to me. And then I got to noticing I never used that part of the blade anyway. It never touches anything.
Right.
Like I'm talking about a quarter inch right here. Just right here. The hamon dips into the edge.
You should have told him to just move the finger choil forward a little bit. Or the sharpening choil or whatever.
Yeah, it didn't have
add a forward choil. Fucking something.
Yeah. Or he could have, cut it at a little bit of an angle. Nobody would have ever thought twice about it.
That's what I'm saying. There's ways around that shit.
Right. Yeah,
I get having a high standard. I have a high standard too, but there's no sense in being like wasteful.
Right. I'm tickled to death that he did because now I've got.
Yeah, because you win. Yeah.
Yeah, I won on that one. I've got the only nice kitchen knife I've ever owned. And you know what? I may never have to sharpen it. I keep it in that oily cardboard sleeve. Uh, we only use it on like a cheap, soft plastic cutting board.
Right.
So, like he tells you, when that edge is gone, it'll still cut potatoes. Better than anything you've ever owned. So,
Yep.
yeah. No, Kyle, actually, I don't think I have. I mean, I've been carrying it because it's. What I do with it? I thought I just had it right here. But no, I hadn't fuckered my Para 3 yet. But right now, the Para 3 is my favorite knife, and I know a lot of you guys are going to think that's blasphemy coming from me, but it will be until I get scales for this. I just do not like the feel of the FRN. I love the black and white, but I don't like the feel of it. I don't like the way it sounds and feels dragging out of my pocket. So until I get some AWT for this, that Para 3 is my everyday carry. Yeah, Para 3 is great. It's a great little knife. I do prefer the shape of the Mannix because it doesn't have as pronounced a thumb ramp. And I do like having that little bit more cutting edge.
The Spyderco thumb ramps are a little obnoxious.
The PM2 don't fit me at all. It just don't. It's just my thumb is literally like cocked back here on the thumb ramp, and my hand will actually cramp up if I hold it very long. So this is great. And the Para 3 has that same hump, but because it's shorter, my thumb ends up on top of it. But with the PM2, it's either or, and neither one of them are comfortable.
Scott in, what up?
So I've probably owned my last PM2, in all honesty. I just think if I want a small knife, Para 3. If I want a medium-sized knife, a Mannix. If I want a full-size knife, I've got a Mannix XL.
Jeffrey Dawson, for sure, man. It's wild. I don't know. It's not my style, though. Not at all.
Paul, I keep saying I'm going to buy a set as soon as I sell, this next batch of knives. But, dude, there's no way around it. You just keep investing everything you make back into making more knives. So I haven't had that. I've had that opportunity. The only time I've treated myself off of my knife money, I replaced my home defense pew-pews that I had to sell when I was super broke waiting on my disability. So I thought that was a bit of a priority more than just getting some scales for this. But this batch, I plan to buy some AWD scales out of it. Is that my knife? No, that's a Spyderco. Your knife is at heat treat. Everything's at heat treat right now. Well, everything but the K390 and the 3V knives that I have. And it's weird because all that's holding that up is I don't want to ship another box of knives to heat treat before I get that box back. You know what I mean? So it must be nice having your own heat treat oven, Donnie.
What's that?
So it must be nice having your own heat treat oven.
It's the first tool I bought, man.
I know it.
I figured if I was going to make knives, better be able to make them knives.
Yeah, because it's not a knife till it's heat treated.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with that. Let me ask you this: is it in your home?
Yeah, it's in my basement next to my dryer.
Does it heat the house up, or is there a lot of radiant heat?
I mean, if you're standing right next to it, it's warm. But like, I stood there one day because I was worried about it because it's actually underneath like my basement stairs, and I was worried about like opening the oven and the heat rising and catching the fucking wood stairs on fire and shit.
Right.
But I got that bitch up to like its max and just opened the fucking door and just stood there and like, it's hot as fuck, like 6 inches right above the kiln, but like it dissipates so fast, like it's fine.
I don't think it'd be an issue in the shop. In my shop, in Meathead shop, I'd considered building a shelf and putting it outside, but it's under a roof. I mean, water would not ever get to it.
Right.
I just considered putting it out there to keep from heating the shop up, but I didn't know how much heat it would radiate. Yeah. Yeah, Scott, and like you got my last PM2, and you seem to like them, and I've got problems with my hands, and I love the ball cage. I still have to use 2 fingers on this one because I haven't done the upgrade on it yet. But once I do the upgrade, I can just use my thumb.
You know,
You're not the first one I've heard say that, Scott. I know a lot of people that just don't care for the ball lock, and I'm glad because I'm glad it don't sell any better than it does because it stays around $140.
I never played the one.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't, Scott. I'm sure the insurance companies wouldn't appreciate you having a heat treat of it. I may have to go. I may just have to go to the doctor tomorrow to find out. The only thing is, are any of you guys on omeprazole?
Syrup, painkiller, cigarettes, weed.
No, omeprazole's for indigestion. Is anybody in here on omeprazole? Because since I started taking omeprazole, I just started a few days ago, dude, like my stomach has hurt ever since. And I'm not sick. I haven't had any bathroom issues or throwing up, but I've just had pain in my stomach ever since.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Well, there's 2 people. Did either one of y'all have any stomach pain associated with it? I am GERD. That's funny you say that. That's the first time I ever heard the word GERD. It made my stomach and throat hurt. Okay. Maybe that's all it is then. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had any heartburn, but maybe I'll get used to it and it'll go away. But it's just constant, man. It's not horrible. It's just constant annoyance, that pain in my stomach.
Yeah, that's not good. Why do they look like the same size?
Scott Ian, I've met you, buddy. And you're in no place to tell me to check my diet and talk about my gut biome. There's no diet to check. It's all horrible, buddy. Causes dementia. Good luck. I've heard that. At this point, I feel like, The only reason they put me on it is because I have occasional chest pain, and with me, having heart issues, they were worried about it. But I told them, I was like, every time I exert myself, I get chest pain, and it scares me. But I've since realized that if I stop what I'm doing and I force myself to belch, the chest pain goes away. So they put me on omeprazole just to see if that goes away. And if that goes away and we know that's all it is, then, there's nothing to worry about.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motherfucking 2 guns, 3 chains. What up?
Marisol, you may be right. I probably should have just, well, this is generic because it's VA. But I probably should have just tried something in all honesty, I did try something over the counter for about a month. And when the month was over, I realized I hadn't had that symptom, but my dumbass didn't continue to take it. So if this works, I may drop it and go back to just an over the counter.
Paul Mills, I've never even made one of these yet. This is like super experimental, man. This is literally like shrunk down by 15%.
Is that not what you made Iggy?
No, Iggy's is a full-size Ripley that I just chopped an inch off of both sides. So it's just like a really stubby Ripley. This one is physically 15% smaller. It's really fucking hard. It's really hard to fucking show it on camera.
Yeah.
But you can see by the handle length.
Yeah. Well, I've got, in this upcoming batch, I've got some 7-inch fixies. And I'll tell you, Donnie, you may have already experienced this, but I seem to have a lot more excitement about smaller knives. I mean, I'd love to only make and sell, these big, badass looking knives. But
man, smaller knives.
More people are buying smaller, pocketable fixed blades. But I did learn on this batch that this knife's entirely too damn heavy. I've got to start doing more weight reduction in the handles. Because literally the only 3 holes in the handles are what you see right there.
Right.
And it's not enough. This knife is...
How thick is it?
It's 1/8. It's 1/8 blade stock.
Oh, that's not too heavy then. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not absurdly heavy. It's just, But
to be fair, I personally like a little bit of a weight. I like a weight in my knife.
Yeah.
Weight is sign of reliability.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm really happy with these, dude. I like that. This is like what you ordered, Inky. But he got the M4 version. There are no more nitro. This knife is sold, but I have to rescale it. So sometime this week I got to take it to the shop and grind these scales off and do something different.
I love how this knife works, and there's not even a fucking... There's no pivot. There's no screw holding the fucking stop pin in. Like, there's no pivot screw holding it in.
Yeah.
But, like, it fucking still works. What?
Somebody was talking about that here a while back, that was the sign of a really well-made knife. Because they took the pivot screw out of some high-end knife and was talking about, that it still worked perfect. They said that's how you know when a knife is really well made.
Well, shit. I was just talking because I've had this thing laying around like this forever and it works, but it's not even screwed together.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't you. I don't remember who it was, and I don't remember what the knife was, but they were talking about that.
Nice.
That's a sign of, good tolerances and a well-made knife. I love my spice. I don't enjoy spicy like I used to. That's not the issue. I think I know you're going to laugh about this, but there's a sphincter in the top of your stomach too. I think it's just worn out because when I try to do anything bent over, when I stand back up, I immediately have chest pain. But I don't think it's chest pain from my heart. I think it's...
Yeah, that one's not centered. It's not right.
I think it's GERD in my throat. GTC has knives so finely made they don't need fasteners. CRKs are like that. They stayed centered too. There's Acid. I ain't seen you around a little while, Acid Test Kids. How you doing, buddy? I had a pretty good conversation with him here a while back.
Yeah.
It's weird how, so many of us know each other, but we've never really had a real conversation. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Chatting back and forth, but a handful of people now I've had real conversations with, and there's some really interesting people in this community with really interesting lives and stories. Yeah, Jeffrey, it was so bad I went to the hospital once because I thought I was having a heart attack. I didn't realize it could be that painful. But what scared me was, because I didn't know it, was it also takes your breath. So since my chest was hurting and it was uncomfortable to breathe, I immediately assumed it was my heart. But
yeah, I definitely deal with the acid reflux shit. My whole family does. My dad had a bad...
Yeah. So that's the only reason I'm taking it, is to see if that goes away. If it does, I may just switch back to like just something over the counter that doesn't have the repercussions. I did that before for heartburn. They weren't happy because I was trashed. I don't know what we're talking about.
I'm not sure what he was talking about either.
I think Tyler had from what I've gathered in some of his comments previously, I think Tyler's had a history with a little bit of alcohol abuse.
Ah.
Yeah. From what I understand. If I said that out of place, Tyler, feel free to correct me.
I mean,
but I think I remember him.
I'm not saying I haven't.
Yeah. I had no problem drinking gasoline, sleeping on the cruise. I have a cookie after living at Heartburn all night long.
Dude, isn't it fucked up? I tell my family that chocolate chip cookies give me heartburn, and they all look at me like I'm fucking insane. But chocolate chip cookies give me fucking heartburn.
Anything with the last of the name ends in "ine," whether it's caffeine, nicotine, any of that can cause severe heartburn. And
Yeah, that's my
chocolate, chocolate is one of those. I used to love Reese cups.
Yeah,
But
those will fuck me up.
I can eat a half a Reese cup and I can't fucking breathe, dude.
Yeah, those will.
The only candy bar.
No, it's not that bad for me.
The only candy bar I can still eat. Well, for one, anything chocolate now, and I don't think it's just me. I think chocolate has changed. But anything chocolate now, all I can taste is sugar. There's no chocolate flavor. So the only candy bar I still enjoy is Payday.
Oh, I don't want to eat candy bars. I only eat like specific made chocolate bars, you know, like Lindt or whatever, you know, like other shit like that. Like chocolate in candy bars is trash.
Yeah. I remember it being really good, and it's not anymore.
But they've changed that shit. They have actually changed that shit over the years. So if you're old enough, you did have good shit.
Right.
Snickers for the dick vein.
That vein feels really good. If you lay it on your tongue and just...
Yeah, you don't eat them, you know.
I don't actually eat Snickers. I just stroke them across my tongue till the vein goes away.
That reminds me of fucking... What was it? Fucking Caddyshack too, right? That's where they find the Snickers in the pool?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tyler, I would have mentioned it if you hadn't mentioned it in chat previously. So
I want to say I remember him saying it too, but I don't like to speak out of place either.
Yeah, I think he told a story of alcohol poisoning and his stomach bleeding and something else.
Yeah, that's pretty severe, man. But like, I mean, I've had my party days, bro. I feel you.
Yeah.
You just got to keep.
Well, definitely that makes sense because all I eat is fatty foods. So.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, I don't drink much carbonated beverages at all. I rarely ever
drink beer. I don't drink pop or anything.
Yeah.
I drink coffee until I drink beer.
If you can fry it and then cover the whole rest of the plate in salty French fries and drown them in ketchup, that's what I eat. I love a good French fry.
French fries are good. Ketchup is not good to me.
Yeah.
Mad Yako, that's good, man. I used to hang out with this cat, and this motherfucker would be drinking like a handle or two of fucking cheap ass vodka and shit a day. Like, he almost died a couple times, man. So just, you know, keep quitting. It's good.
That's right.
Smoke some weed.
Never stop quitting. And Paul Mills, you shouldn't be
telling video games, whatever it takes, man. Holler at one of us, man.
Because I want to tell you my Dilaudid experience.
We're around. Dilaudid? Holy
I
fuck.
had never heard of Dilaudid. Had no idea what it was. I'd never been a drug user. Matter of fact, I got run over by a forklift and ripped my Achilles tendon in half and never took a single Lortab that they gave me. I just didn't need pain medicine when I was young. Well, I was at work one day and I took out the trash. And like an hour later, man, I had this severe pain in my stomach. Like I was doubled over. That night I went to the hospital and they were poking me, you know, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? And then they're like, oh, we think you have a really bad kidney stone. So they gave me a shot of Dilaudid.
Damn, they give it a shot of the shit? I've only experienced it in pill form.
Through my IV.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
So they gave me that shot and then did
you were like
then sent me for imaging and found out that I did not have a kidney stone. I just had a bad tear in my stomach muscle from lifting that heavy ass trash can. But my point is, not only did the pain go away, it was by far the most enjoyable 3 hours of my life sitting in that emergency room. And for the next 7 to 10 days when I got home, I legit shook. I wanted it so bad. After one dose, if I knew where to buy Dilaudid, I would have sold everything I owned to buy that shit. So I'm really glad at that point in time, you couldn't find it on the streets here.
Dude, my last girl, she was a junkie. She was on like OxyContin and shit, you know? Dude, I've taken every kind of pain. I've taken painkillers that they specifically produced so you can't snort them. Like you can't crush them up. You can't cut them with a knife. Guess what? They figured out if you use a fucking Dremel tool and a fucking file on a Dremel tool that you can shave it into these little coconut flakes, and then you snort the coconut flakes, and that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta bake them first though to get rid of the whatever coating. It's so fucked up.
I used to watch my buddy snort Oxy 120s. He would crush them up. And he always did it outside. He would snort it and then he would have the water hose turned on. As soon as he snorted, he'd stick the hose pipe to his nose.
Yeah. Wash that shit in.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's still alive. I have no idea how.
Hey man, I mean, I'm saying I did a lot of that shit with my girl, man. I wasn't doing the amount she was doing, but I did a lot of that shit with her, and fuck me.
This is what's weird. He's the only one. Like his entire friend group, they're all dead. You know, and many of them weren't as good at it as he was, and didn't do the dosages that he did. But everybody else is dead, and that dude's still alive.
No, yeah, I got people. Yeah.
I don't understand how one guy can snort 5 120s a day and another guy can snort 3 80s a day, and the guy that snorted 3 80s a day ends up dying because of it.
That's real life, man. That's just human tolerance is difference, you know?
Holy shit. I used to be prescribed 10 4 milligram Dilaudid a day. Holy shit. What was wrong with you, Paul? Because from what I understood, when they gave it to me, they told me,
Paul, that wouldn't even get my ex-girlfriend's headache to go away.
Yeah, when they gave me that,
it was so fucking junked out.
They told me that they typically only give it for extreme kidney stones and for terminal cancer patients. So,
hell yeah, that shit was good fucking street money too. She used to hustle that shit back and forth.
Hey, I could have never been I could have never been a user and a dealer. I'd end up eating all my profits.
Oh, she did most of the time, you know. Yeah. Shit is fucked up. That shit was all fucked up. That whole fucking style of life is fucked up.
Oh yeah. I've had so many friends that were good people, man. Good families, promising futures, and they all dead now.
Yep.
All dead.
I lost several people. I know.
Yeah. But it was a blessing to me because
not rag. That's why my homeboy Kyle's dead. Yeah. No, not specifically because of those, but he used to come to school with like several of those strapped on him, be sucking down a duster can. Like that dude was out of control. He's dead now, obviously, but
yeah, that's how my buddy Tyler, who's dead now, got started. They had his dad on morphine patches. And, you're supposed to put it on, and then 24 hours later, you change it. But when he would throw it in the trash can, Tyler would cut it open and eat that gel.
Yo. Oh, damn, you eat it?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I know. That's how bad he wanted it, though. And I've watched that dude.
We do love librarian chicks.
Yeah.
I heard once that if you snort the little red, like 10 or whatever, 15 milligram morphines, that they smell like weed. Huh. I heard that once.
I'm just glad I never abused it and got put myself.
I've abused all kinds of shit, but I'm lucky in the fact that when I was doing that shit, I could just stop doing it and it didn't matter. And I say lucky because I mean that, man. I got a lot of homies that like went down wrong paths and they weren't doing any more than I was. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Yeah, I'm sure from what I was told, the amount that Tyler did the morning that he died, was the same amount he had shot up every morning. You know, wasn't like he doubled up or anything. Just shot the same amount he had been shooting. And,
his body was just like, fuck you.
But see, that was
for sure, man. That's why kids can't do street drugs no more, man. Fucking fentanyl.
Well, but see, that's the thing. That was a huge lie around here too, is that all these people dying of fentanyl overdose thought they were getting heroin.
For sure.
But they got fentanyl. And I'm not saying that didn't happen, but after talking to a lot of my friends here in town who are recovering, they're like, No, dude, we were buying fentanyl. So we'd give up on heroin a long time ago. So we had,
Yeah, you couldn't find it or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, she's, you know, and this girl told me, she's like, because we were talking, I was bringing up names. She's like, none of them died because of they got some fentanyl, thinking like, all those people were on fentanyl.
Right,
like,
right,
I did it all with them. Yeah.
Right. Which is sad that, you know, that it gets to that point, but fuck.
Yeah. What was the movie where the dude dated a librarian chick? She turned out to be dude, you cannot judge a chick by its cover.
I ain't no shit.
And I'm talking about in all facets, whether it's in the bedroom, how she's gonna act in public, dude, you never know.
Michael Upchurch, I actually smoked crack one time, yeah. Tastes
I
like
was around it.
It's not good.
I was around it, but I never tried it.
It's definitely not good.
But I remember,
I mean, it's not even like a good high. Like, you know me, I love smoking weed and shit. Like, you smoke some crack and you're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did. They scraped up like $80 to buy this and smoked it.
Yeah.
I was talking about, you know, how dumb I was for not trying it. And I was like, dude, I'm just not interested. Like 10 minutes later.
No, I'm not like proud of the fact I did it.
like,
I'm just saying I have done it and it was dumb.
Like 10 minutes later, they said it was over. And I was like, y'all spent $80 for 10 minutes?
Right.
I mean, she just don't understand. I was like, no, dude.
Yeah, you should have got a bag of weed and gotten high for fucking the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember smoking for
10 minutes. To be fair, I only did it out of like purposeful, like, I've never done that before. I'm going to do this.
Right.
Because I never got into all that shit either. I mean, pills for a little while when I was like in my early 20s at the tattoo shop, and then it's mostly booze, weed, a little bit of cocaine over the years.
Yeah.
I don't do none of that shit though. Not anymore. And lots of fucking psychedelics. Shrooms and acid, I mean, that's for the kids. Like, I fully support that shit.
I hadn't tried either one.
You've never done shrooms or acid?
No.
Shane, you would be bugging. Holy fuck.
I think I'm too paranoid.
Oh, you would bug out.
I think I get too paranoid on weed that I'm scared to try.
No, you would bug out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would love to be there, but not be in charge of taking care of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably need taken care of. Sure.
Oh, for sure, man. I was fucking Ernie and his buddy. I was like babysitting them while they took shrooms like a couple New Years ago.
Yeah.
Ernie's buddy, he's about my height, maybe 1 inch on me or whatever, but he weighs like 350, 400 pounds. Like, there's nothing I could do to this kid if he got rowdy, you know? It'd be like a bull in a china shop, you know? Like, I could Superman punch this kid and he wouldn't move.
Right.
So I was like, and he started freaking out when he was on acid. Or, oh shit, here we go. It was all good, but goddamn.
Yeah. There's the message of the day right there from Kyle Finley.
What's that? You guys have heard drugs are bad? Okay.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Depends on the drug, homie. Depends on your tolerance. If you can maintain, fucking have your fill, bud.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that there's a chance that I'm not going to enjoy it, I just don't understand the reason.
Sometimes I take drugs when I know I'm not going to enjoy it.
Like, you know, every time I've ever got to that perfect level of drunkenness, I always had a good time. I may have made some bad decisions.
Demon oxiders are nice.
Just have a bad time because I was drinking. But yeah.
Oh, my mindset is big on it too, man. You know, as far as tripping goes and shit like that. You know, like I've purposely taken it when I knew I shouldn't have been taking it, and I had a miserable time, but it was awesome as well.
Right. Yeah, I just know how paranoid I get when I smoke weed.
Water, reed, shrooms, DMT. Yes, one moon. Yes. You spelled coffee wrong though. It's got a W there. I don't know what's happening. Michael at church for sure.
Boy, giving me free lines, not good for me to quit everything. Yeah, that makes sense.
God, schnozberries.
I'm sure there was a cocaine culture around here, but I don't know if it was kind of like exclusive. You know, it was a little harder to get into because it just wasn't public. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anybody that was snorting coke.
Oh yeah, well, you know me. I'm from a bigger city than you are for
Yeah.
sure, and that
I'm
helps.
sure there were. They just weren't telling people. Maybe they didn't want to share. I don't know. But I know we had a whole community of benzos around here. You know, like this whole
Oh yeah, the pill hole thing that got crazy for a long time.
yeah. You know, we had this whole group, and
Yeah.
most of them are dead too now. I don't know if it was from the benzos or if they graduated on to other things, but most of those people are dead. And you know, and all of them, man, they were great people, beautiful people. I don't know, it's just sad. Bless knives, coffee makes me jittery. Why you run through fish scale like sniffing it off the back of the toilet? Yeah.
I ain't never done that shit. That is gross as fuck.
I will admit, watching Leo snort that line off that hooker's butt cheek, that sounds like fun.
I have done that. Not a hooker though. I don't fuck hookers. You can only pee on hookers. Can't fuck them. That's how you get the scurv.
Well, like I said, I wasn't going to go 3 tonight. We've been
I was waiting for it. I know you weren't going to go 3, but I was like, man, he's going on. We're going 2 hours.
I know.
I like it.
I'm fixing to go take some.
No, it was a good night, man.
I think I got some Mylanta in there. I think I'm fitting to go hit that.
Oh shit!
So you guys, y'all do y'all's illicit shit. I'm fitting to go do a line of Mylanta. Just when I get my stomach to quit hurting. It's keeping me up too. Like it's not severe. It's just that level of pain where like I can't hardly go to sleep. I'm not comfortable. I don't even know if I'm hungry or should I eat. I don't know.
Sharper than most. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. You too, man.
Yeah. Well, once again, I will say I started feeling a little better.
I probably shouldn't have made it several times.
Somebody in the chat mentioned that they were sad that we weren't going to be live, which last time it was Todd Carr. This time it was Paul Mills.
I mean, I was sad we weren't going to be live.
Well, I also got to think, I thought, man, I'm going to sit here miserable either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if my stomach hadn't let up a little bit, I was going to be miserable either way. So
for sure.
But yeah, Paul, I appreciate you without knowing it urging me to do it anyway. And
we appreciate all you guys for fucking hanging out with us.
Y'all know I appreciate any amount.
You might be retarded for watching us, but that's fine. We love you.
I would agree with that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna call it, and we will see you.